So I just got a brand new action camera because I realized the DJI Osmo Pocket is not an action camera. And so this is a test of that action camera. I am going to unbox and assemble a chair, an office chair, a reclining office chair. Not one of those leather type office chairs that cost thousands of dollars. Instead, this one on Amazon, there's going to be a link below, costs about $215. However, I got this for $100, or about $109. And that's because I'm tired of this chair that I have. It doesn't really have any back support. I constantly have to put a pillow behind me to get a little bit of comfort. So this box has been sitting around in my place for about a day, and I just got this action camera. And I just figured, why not kill two birds with one stone if you're into killing birds with stones, or just killing, or birds. And I'll do the unboxing and assembly, and I will also test out this camera. And you'll see along this whole video, there's going to be lower thirds indicating what's going on, what I've added, what I've deleted, things like that. And I'm just kind of playing around with the video on this. This is shot at 2.7K, 24 frames per second at 60 hertz. I could have done it at 50 hertz. I didn't want to. I just wanted to test the 60 hertz. I don't think you'll really notice a huge difference. The 24p, in hindsight, I probably should have just done this at 30 or 60, because I think that the 24p just doesn't mesh quite well enough. I see a little bit of jitteriness. Maybe that's just in the editing process. You may not see any jitteriness once everything is rendered and put out. But in the future, I'm just going to do it at either 30 or 60. One thing I've noticed while I was playing around with the video afterwards is it's jumping frames for me when I'm watching this and doing the voiceover. I don't know why it's doing that. It could just be that there's so much data here that the editing software is unable to stream all of it at the same time, because there's a lot of stuff going on in the background. It's probably just rendering in real time as well. I'm using Filmora 9 because I like using Filmora 9. Between the Filmora 9 and Final Cut Pro, I like Final Cut Pro a lot, but I don't want to go and buy music. Filmora 9 already comes with music in it, and every once in a while they'll update their music media library. So overall, it's a little easier just for me to use Filmora 9 for these kind of videos. Nothing professional. I mean, that's what this channel is, unprofessional, right? So the other thing I noticed is that when pushing the footage, adding LUTs, pushing the contrast, the color saturation, things, all that stuff, it holds up pretty well. I see some graininess, and this is all at auto. I still have to figure out how to work the ISO, and if there is an ISO setting in this, I don't know. There's a companion app that I downloaded from my iPhone, and there are some settings. I didn't play around much with it. I just wanted to put this on and go. I was pretty curious to see if this was going to work, because it was half off from the original price. Now, the original price for this camera, the SJ8 Pro from SJCam, or SJCam, is essentially a GoPro knockoff. So the SJ8 Pro, from what I could tell from my research, is really a competitor to the GoPro Hero 6 that came out, I think, a year or a year and a half ago. SJCam has yet to update their line to compete with the Hero 7 Black, which is the top-of-the-line $500 GoPro. However, from what I could tell from SJCam's website, they do have something that's planned to be released very soon in the next couple of months, which I am very, very interested in. But I didn't want to jump in and buy an SJCam. I'd never heard of this company before. I didn't want to just jump in and buy that when I had no idea what the quality was going to be like, whether this thing was even going to work. I mean, GoPro, everybody knows. A lot of people use GoPro, and they have a fairly good and robust customer support. So I felt as if, okay, if I'm going to invest, if you can ever really, quote, invest in technology, cameras, things like that, because they just depreciate like a car coming off a parking lot. If you can really just invest, I wanted to invest in the best, because knowing that I would get the customer support after the purchase and knowing nothing about SJCam. But after further review, I realized that, SJCam was an okay bet to make for the price. I wasn't willing to pay I wasn't willing to pay $500 for a Hero 7 Black. But I liked the Hero 7 Black features, which were different from the Hero 6 features. And, if the difference of price between the 6 Black and the 7 Black is going to be $75 or whatever, then I was just going to go get the 7 Black, because the $75 I would rather spend on the newer model with the additional features. So it didn't make any sense for me to go a model that's a year and a half, 2 years already out of date, and also doesn't have the features. So when I looked at the SJ8 Pro, it had a lot of the stuff that I really wanted, and it didn't have the superfluous stuff that the Hero 7 Black was offering that I didn't really find all that interesting. And on top of that, the SJ8 Pro is less than half the price of the Hero 7 Black. Right? So the Hero 7 Black, and once again, naming conventions need to change for these stupid companies. Stop making it so difficult to pronounce and explain to people what the product is. Just call it a normal camera. Hey, look, GoPro, you can just say GoPro 7. Why do you need to add the 7 Black Hero? Why? Hero for what? I don't understand this. Never mind. Serenity now. So when I compared the prices, the price for a brand new SJ8 Pro is $219 on Amazon, Prime shipping. Brand new. And it came with a lot of accessories, including a waterproof mount, screen protector, and mounting stuff. Didn't come with an SD card, but that's fine. For $219, less than half of what the Hero 7 Black costs new. And even on the used market, the Hero 7 Black is going for about $400 and $450. Sometimes you can find it for about $375 to $300, but it's pretty beat up. And I really wouldn't work with that. Oh, by the way, Charlie here got a boo-boo, cut himself up, had surgery, but he's doing well. He's all active today, helping me put this together. Well, the other dog, as you just saw, is just sitting on the couch. She doesn't care. Charlie, however, he's ready to get his paws dirty. Or surgeryed upon. Surgeryed upon is not the phrase. Anyway. What was I talking about? I completely forgot what I was talking about. I was talking about something. I was talking about cameras. Right. So that's a huge difference for me between $219 and $500. Yeah, that's not even remotely a difficult decision to make. So what I ended up doing is I went to Amazon and I looked up the SJ8 Black. Here we go. See, I messed that up. The SJ8 Pro, and I put it in the cart. And before I hit buy, something caught my attention. It was the white version of the SJ8 Pro. And I thought, well, I might as well take a look at that too, see if there are any third-party sellers who are selling it for a little bit cheaper. And sure enough, there was. And it was an Amazon marketplace. And here's Charlie trying to help in his own particular way. It was on an Amazon marketplace, Amazon return warehouse product. So somebody had purchased this, didn't want it, returned it, Amazon repackaged it, and just wanted to get rid of it. And it was for $109. Did you hear that? $109 for a product that goes for $219, competing with a product that sells for $500. You do the math. So, brand new, it's less than half of the Hero 5, and I got it at half. So, if my math is right, I got it for a quarter of the price of the Hero 7 Black. Right, that's how it works out, right? Something like that. So for $109, I said, I am definitely, there's only one of these on Amazon's listing. It's white. I wanted black, but who cares? Bought it immediately, no second thoughts, because I know if there's an issue, I'll just return it. Box came in today, well, at the time of filming of this video, and I held off on putting the chair together. As you can see, I'm having a great time putting the chair together. I held up putting the chair together because I wanted to film with the GoPro competitor. And I was pretty pleased by it. I think that overall, this is great. The fact that I have a choice between 2.7K and 4K, 1080p, that's fantastic. The fact that there is a companion app that actually lets me mount this thing on my head and then watch the placement on my phone so I make sure everything is framed properly and then hit record. That's all I need. I do not need to mess around with LUTs or film profiles or screw around with saturation on the phone. I don't want that. The reason I don't want that is because I have a dedicated Mac Pro at home, the 2013 version, that I trust with all that stuff, that has all of my LUTs that I want to use, that has the editing program. Why would I want to edit on my phone? It's a gimmick, and it's a poorly designed gimmick, if at that. So the SJCam product comes with an iOS-compatible software that links with the camera. It's my understanding that an Android version also exists. And linking the two is very easy. The camera itself has a Wi-Fi transmitter. So you turn on the Wi-Fi transmitter, you switch the camera, your phone to that Wi-Fi signal. So off of your home Wi-Fi signal and onto that one. There's a password. You log on, then you hit the app, hit connect, and it connected immediately. I mean, I was surprised. I have DJI products that do not connect as quickly. I was very, very pleasantly surprised. The other thing I was very pleasantly surprised about this camera is the touchscreen. Now, the touchscreen is not being filmed. It's not going to be part of this build here of this chair. I'm going to do a thorough analysis of this camera eventually as I try not to break this chair. But just kind of sneak peek, the screen is surprisingly responsive. There were some commentators on Amazon and other websites stating that the screen is a little wonky for them. I haven't noticed anything like that. The screen is very, very good. It's very bright. It's extremely responsive. I don't notice any lag. This thing works and responds to my touch input like my phone does. Well, I can't say that. Not like my iPhone. But it certainly is not laggy by any stretch of the imagination. One problem I have noticed is that the battery drains like a tub. And it's really hard to find a battery. I went to SJCam's website for extra batteries, and they didn't have any. They don't sell the batteries, which is really strange. They sell all sorts of other accessories for the cameras, but they don't sell the batteries. It's not listed on Amazon. It's not listed on any website that I trusted while doing a Google search. So I just went to eBay, and they have a few SJ8 batteries listed for about $19 for two and a charger, which isn't bad. So I made a purchase, 2 batteries and a charger. I assume it's going to get here sometime between April 1st and June 30th. I have no idea. That's the spectrum, so we'll see. Regardless, this video here, it's about almost an hour. By the time that it was done being filmed, again at 2.7K, it had about, it's hard to tell because it doesn't give percentages, but I would estimate it probably had another 30 minutes of battery left. And that is consistent with what I read the battery life happens to be for this camera, which is about 90 minutes. People say they get a little bit less than 90 minutes, and I would agree. I didn't push it all the way, but based upon my use, yes, probably 90 minutes. Now, does the battery life improve or decrease depending on the resolution of the camera? I have no idea at this point. But at 2.7K at least, you could assume close to 90 minutes. Now that I'm done jabbering about the camera, and you've been watching me work on a chair, you feel a little disjointed, I assume. Let's talk a little bit about the chair, because this video is titled Real-Time Strategy. The real-time strategy here comes in me trying to build this thing. This is a chair replacement for my office chair, which is just a standard Home Depot office chair, which I didn't really like. Did I say Home Depot? I meant Office Depot. So many depots. Because it didn't have any back support, and I wanted to kind of lounge because I have my amps and my headphones, everything by my computer desk, and I just wanted to kind of lay back and relax. I looked into lounge chairs, but they're really, really expensive. Even the knockoff lounge chairs on Amazon are about $350 plus shipping. And then the nicer ones are close to $1,000. It's like, I don't want to spend that much money on a chair. And I certainly don't want to spend that much money on a chair that I'm only going to use at my desk. The other problem with lounge chairs is that they're just not tall enough so that I can sit at my computer desk and work when I need to. So I came across this. This is a bona fide computer desk chair, and it also reclines. It's got a footrest. It's got back support to a degree, but it reclines, I think, 75 degrees. And with the footrest and the ability to just recline, that's enough for me. I also found this for about $100, $119. So, huge difference. I could have paid $350 for a lounge chair that was not going to suit any of my requirements, or $119 for a chair that would suit the base requirements that I had. This chair, once again, was an Amazon Marketplace find with Prime shipping. I will leave a link to this chair below. And for $119, you get a lot. I'm pretty surprised. One of the things you get is the armrests are solid wood. It is, in fact, solid wood, and it's nicely done. There's a lot of metal pieces here, very strong metal pieces. The base is metal, which is not typical. A lot of times it's some amalgam of plastic, but it's all metal. Castors are great. They're fine, like any other caster. This is the seat portion that I'm working on right now, and I'm trying to figure out why the instructions explain to put a spacer on only one of the screw holes and not the other two on each end. It simply didn't make any sense to me. And so that's what I'm trying to figure out, and I spent a couple of minutes trying to figure out why is this happening. In hindsight, it's because of the curvature of the chair slightly, and so that one spacer that they ask you to add to the arm is required to kind of give that little bump so that it's evenly that it evenly comes up to your arm, to your body. Otherwise, it would just be a little too far out. At least that's my assumption. Now, I'm sitting here, and I'm sitting in this chair right now, and the arms are securely in here. I tightened them after I figured all this out. I tightened them down pretty good, and they're fine. I mean, I'm not gonna try to rip these off. So They look good to me so far. They feel fine. Overall, the seat cushion on this, I don't recall if the listing said that it was memory foam. Let me check right now. Is it memory foam? Where's the chair? Okay, let's see. Where is this? So I'm looking at the webpage, and this is called the Windaze, W-I-N-D-A-Z-E, reclining office chair, mesh high back executive chair, ergonomic, breathable design with retractable footrest, blue. That is, in fact, the title. Let's see, memory foam. All right, so I did a Command F to try to find memory foam, and it's not coming up. So this is not memory foam, although it is actually pretty soft and firm enough, right? I mean, you don't just want soft, at least I don't want just soft. I want firm as well, and it's pretty firm and soft. It's softly firm. I like it. It feels fine, actually. It feels pretty good. It comes with this backrest sort of thing, and it's not particularly good. I don't think the backrest adds much to it. That's why I have my other backrest that you saw earlier in the video. That was on my original chair. And I just put that on top of this backrest, and that provides a little bit more cushioning. I think that the seat itself is a little bit wider than my old chair, which is fine. It's sturdy. The castors move perfectly well. I have no complaints about this chair. In fact, I'm pretty happy that I waited long enough so that I could stumble upon this chair on Amazon. There were a lot of options out there. Even now, as I'm looking at chairs on Amazon while you're looking at this video, boy, this video is getting really disjointed for you. I don't know what I'm doing. You have no idea what I'm doing. So there's a couple of other chairs here. There's the Bada ergonomic office chair, which is basically the same thing as the one that I have here. Different brand name. For $160 prime shipping. There are some videos about putting that chair, the Bada chair, together. If you go on YouTube, you'll find a couple people putting that together, and they say it's a good chair. And I was about to buy that before I stumbled across the Windaze chair. Then the alternative to all that was, and is, gaming chairs, that are shaped in the form of race car chairs. I think that they're incredibly ugly, first of all, and second of all, they're just kind of uncomfortable. That seems to be the consensus among people, that the chairs could be more comfortable. And I don't want to spend $200 on a gaming chair with a footrest and then just be uncomfortable. That defeats the whole purpose of buying a replacement chair. So that was immediately out of the picture. And that's part of the kind of the thing. Our access to these types of items, whether it's furniture like an office chair or it's cameras like the SJ8, that stuff is becoming more and more accessible to us because of Amazon. And a lot of times you find something on Amazon that you thought, whoa, I didn't know that this thing even existed. Like with me and the SJ8, I had no idea that thing even existed. Know nothing about the company. I knew nothing about Windaze. I don't think I've ever purchased a Windaze product before, but I assume they have other things. Let me see. If I go to their Amazon store, they have chairs, they have baby gates, screwdrivers, sofas, a Windaze welding welder cart, universal equipment mic bat. Yeah. Okay, so I was complaining about GoPro's naming scheme. Windaze needs to work on its naming scheme a little bit more. Flashlights. They have a cat tree. Kind of random. Coat hangers. Well, Where do you go after a cat tree? Coat hangers, obviously. Hey, this is nice. A Windaze belly band holster for concealed carry, elastic handgun holder for pistols. A little redundant, and I think a little dangerous. No. No. Oh, more random. Windaze security safe box dictionary diversion portable book storage case. And there's a lot more, but Amazon cut it off because it's too long. Cool. All right, so Windaze is just a catch-all. It'll make anything. Regardless, I'm perfectly happy with this chair. In fact, the color of the chair that's in the Amazon listing is fairly accurate to the actual color of the chair. A lot of times what companies will do is they'll take a product, they'll do a product shot, and then they'll enhance the product shot by adding saturation and messing with the curves. And it's just, what you end up actually getting when you open the box can be very different from what they show to you in the product photo. However, I must say, other than the lighting in the photo, obviously, because they had to do fairly good lighting, and they did a very good job photographing the product itself on Amazon. This thing is fairly accurate. This thing is just accurate. There's nothing about the product in the picture that is different from the product that I actually received. The instructions say that there is kind of a tree, this plastic tree that's supposed to go over the piston, and I kept looking for it and I didn't find it in the box. That's why earlier you kept watching me going through the box repeatedly. It doesn't exist, and I was really upset. Like, I didn't get something that I was supposed to get. And I thought, I'll just put it on. The plastic tree doesn't really add anything. It's just for show. And now that I'm looking at the photo of the chair, it doesn't have a plastic tree. It's not shown with a plastic tree on there. So the instructions are wrong. I'm happy to say. Windaze also has some other products that I think are actually pretty interesting. There's a $100 living room dining chair. It's, you know what? This thing actually is pretty attractive. They have some of these this type of chair on Wayfair.com, and I bet that Windaze sells their stuff on Wayfair. Sometimes Wayfair is a little bit cheaper than Amazon. Sometimes it's not, but if you do business with Amazon and you're a Prime member, just do business with Amazon because you have a lot of protection with Amazon. But this dining room chair can be an accent chair. This is really nice. Is it solid wood? Chair is surrounded by a design that gives the users the most comfortable enjoyment and fits back. Well, that's good. Concealed armrest design, a lot like their concealed weapon design. The handrail is perfectly integrated into the overall chair. It is also very useful for ensuring aesthetics. I don't know what that means. Retro sense of design. The retro design can be well integrated into the modern decor of the family. Its smooth line sense gives visual enjoyment. Modern decor of the family. Okay. Wait, there's a lot wrong with that sentence, but that's what jumped out to me. Good stability and high quality raw materials. The 4-pillar of this chair gives it good stability, and the finest wood and fabrication techniques make it perfect. Okie dokie. Perfect after-sales service. Please feel free to contact our customer service for any questions you may have after purchasing your product. Solve your problems as quickly as possible. Okay, well, that's cool. Just looking at the photos of this, they use metal. It's not rivets. It looks like they're screws. Yeah, they are. Hex screws, and big ones too. The chair itself, I mean, it looks like real wood. It doesn't appear as veneer, but it's hard to say in a photograph. Regardless, this thing looks pretty good. This is a good accent chair, and they have a bunch of other stuff that just looks really stunning. The design clearly the design for these chairs is ripped off from some other manufacturer designer that charges 3, 4, 5 times at least what these Chinese companies are charging on Amazon. There's no doubt about that. If I cared to go online and look that up, I would be proven correct, but I don't care. I don't really care. I just want to point out this is Not bad at all. This is pretty neat. People on Amazon who are looking at this accent chair are using it as an accent chair. So even though Windaze says it's a dining room chair, you can use it as an accent chair, clearly. Anything else I can say about this? Oh, I said 75 degrees back. So I said that the chair reclines 75. It's 175 degrees. So I was off by 100 degrees. Wait, not surprising. Working mode is 90 degrees. Thank you. Reading mode is 120 degrees. Movie mode is 150 degrees. And sleeping mode is 175 degrees. I don't know why they think any of this is what it is. Like, why is 90 degrees working mode? Because it's just straight up. And why is reading mode 120 degrees? I don't think that they did any scientific analysis as to the degrees of the reclining the back and whether that's suitable for sleeping, movie, reading, or working. Except for maybe working, because everybody sits at their computer desk straight up. Other than trolls. Alright, so back to the video. I've been looking at Amazon. I've been having fun looking at this and talking to the microphone. I have no idea where the video is right now. Let me go check on the video. Hey, alright! I've put on the piston holder thingy. And we are very close to being done with this video. I didn't think I had this much to I didn't think I had this much to say. It's almost 50. The whole video is almost 55 minutes long. And I have been chatting away for 55 minutes. Where does the time fly? I am really underscoring the whole unprofessional portion of my spiel. So putting the piston, well, putting the bottom of the chair onto the piston is, like any other chair assembly. It's nothing special about it. Just get in there and push down. Unless you're me, in which case you might have some difficulty. Now, the next portion is for the seat back itself, which I had some considerable trouble with in assembly. Because the seat back, as you will see, simply did not want to go where the instruction said that they should go. So again, the instructions that they provide you with this chair are very poor. Which is why I didn't edit the assembly of this video. It's because this is supposed to be a real-time strategy. A more intelligent individual will probably be able to figure this out within moments, but assume that I'm a normal person. And you'll see that the picture diagram on the instructions say just to put this seat back up against the back plate of the chair and then screw it on, which is what I was doing here. I was putting all the screws to make it easier for myself. And then you'll see what the issue is in a few seconds. Well, moments. What could have been really helpful right now is a dog that could, I don't know, hold up the seat back while I screwed it in. Just kind of standing there so I can gently place the seat back onto the dog would have been helpful, but that's okay. I see that they have much better things to do. So here's the thing. When I lined up the holes and I tried to screw them in, it wasn't working. And you know why it wasn't working? It's going to be hard for you to figure it out because the video is not particularly clear about this. Is that you're not supposed to put it up against the back of that plate like it shows in the video. There's a hole there, and I realized it's supposed to go inside the hole. It's not supposed to be outside the hole, and the instructions do not in any way make that plain. So I had to take all the screws out because I had already screwed it into the back because I thought that's all it had to do, and that's not the case. I mean, look at it. That's what the instructions say. I mean, they don't say, they have graphs. Okay, so I'm going to put this on, or inside, and now there's the other problem. I can't put this in. Like, what the hell? What's catching on there? Why won't this go in? It's like, this is clearly how it's supposed to be, right? And nope, not working. What the hell? So I take it out and try it again. Like, at this point, I was scratching my head, going, "What am I doing wrong here? This cannot be this difficult. It's a simple chair." And like any other normal person, I think we would go back to the instructions, because clearly, if I haven't looked at them 15 times before on this issue, maybe the 16th time will make a difference. And, you might be getting frustrated. Do you think you were frustrated? If you think you're frustrated watching me do this and stumble along like I'm an idiot, first of all, you wouldn't be far off. But second of all, I felt pretty frustrated myself. I'm looking at the instructions, and it's not providing any clarity whatsoever. Like, if I try to... So this is what I did. I turned it around. I tried I tried everything else. Why not try this backwards? And it fit. Hey, are you serious now? Like, how the hell am I supposed to sit on this? And, I was so irritated. Like, now I understand why this is $100. What the hell, man? How are you supposed to sit on this thing? I can't sit backwards. So there were only two explanations. One, this thing was manufactured wrong, which is why they're selling it for $100 on Amazon, and and the seat back only goes in backwards. Or I put the piston mechanism that the thing that holds a piston on the bottom of the seat, I put that in backwards, and that was like, so I got to take all that out and take a look at that. But in the back of my mind was going, it can't be. It simply cannot have been. It simply could not have been backwards. It doesn't make any sense. Right, so this is what I'm doing. I'm trying to figure out, okay, if I turn it around, then it's just facing the wrong direction. And then I won't be able to get any seat back in. Right? So if this was turned 180 degrees facing the other direction, it wouldn't work. Nothing would work. Nothing would work. So this is my slow process of trying to figure this out. And in hindsight, now that I've got the seat all set up perfectly, it's still not funny because I'm watching myself go through it, and I remember what it was yesterday. I remember how it felt. It felt bad. So it dawned on me at this point, what if I moved that metal piece back? Because it's supposed to recline. There's tension based upon the springs. That's how you recline. So maybe it's just too much of an upright position. It's perfectly 90. So maybe that's what's causing it to catch on the seat back. So here's what I mean. If I was able to move that clamp back just a little bit, maybe I can put the seat back in and screw it in. Maybe it's that clamp that's preventing it from working. And I figured, I've tried everything else. I've literally thought about, stood in front of, read the instructions repeatedly. There's nothing else I can do. This is it. This has to be the solution. But how do I move it back? Because I can't move it back with my hands. It's just way too strong for me to do that. I have no leverage to do that. So I came up with an idea. Oh, you're waiting for me to tell you what the idea is, right? Well, it's a lot easier if I just show it to you, because the video's already made. And Charlie's here trying to help. Finally. I think he got bored too. He's like, geez, I can't believe this could take you so long. I could have figured this out an hour ago. So I know that the seat will go in backwards, so I just put it in backwards. So once it's on backwards, I just recline a little bit. And Charlie's indicating, yes, that is exactly what you should be doing. That's precisely the process. And now it fits in just perfectly. See? Ta-da! You think that was painful for you? It was extremely painful for me. and it didn't get much easier because now that it's in, I still have to screw it in, but for whatever reason, the screw holes are not perfectly aligned to each other, so it takes a little bit of manhandling to get in. Luckily, the screws that they do provide are fairly thick and seemingly quality screws. There are a lot of screws that would just strip as you're trying to put them through screw holes that are just not aligned perfectly because they're poorly made screws. These, I just kept twisting and twisting. It like champs, they just kept going. Eventually. Because part of the problem is I can't really see from this position, neither can you. So I had to push the chair into an area where there's a little bit more light and then lean down and, you know the whole spiel. That's how it goes. This last screw was giving me a lot of trouble because even though I had put the other two in to hold the seat back in position, there was still a lot of weight on that seat back that was pushing down on the screws, and so it was not perfectly aligned, maybe by two atoms width, and it simply wasn't going in. So I kept trying over and over again just to try to align it just enough so that I can force the screw in and just screw it in. And this screw gave me a lot of trouble. By the way, the Allen wrench that they give with the chair, pretty good. Pretty thick, and it's big enough so that you can use all your leverage. The companies sometimes, even the really high-end companies, when they charge you an arm and a leg for furniture, will give you these rinky-dink little Allen keys. And I was happy to have something that I could grip. I mean, look at that. I can fully grip this Allen key and just ratchet away. Okay. Installation is complete. And here's what it looks like. There's two cloth covers one on the seat back, one on the chair back, that has Velcro on it, and it's just a matter of making sure that they connect. You can kind of pretend that there's a seal. It's one continuous mechanism. And then you have this kind of lumbar support thing that goes. It's not particularly good because I don't think that gives you sufficient support. You'd have to sit. You have to sit all the way back into the chair to even feel it, which is why I have the extra support on top of this thing. And then you have the footrest, and I thought, God, why is this footrest so far out? Like, that's going to be really uncomfortable. Like, I don't remember it being that way in the photos. But I eventually figured it out. So you pull out the footrest, and it twists. And it rolls back underneath. So that's as far as it will extend. It'll be just enough to get down to my Achilles heel. And I'm 5'9". And this is fully reclined, head back, and it was very comfortable, very sturdy. This is 90 up. Yeah. Definitely an upgrade to my old chair. The other dog finally agrees. And here's that backrest, the other one that I'm just going to put on this chair to give myself a little bit more support. There you go. And putting the backrest like that actually is the best option for me anyway. It works really well. I like it. It goes with the decor. And that thing is going away. There you go. That's the video.